How's it going, you awesome bunch of bakers? Hope you're having a lovely day so far. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're making pancakes again, so let's go to the kitchen and get started. I never even knew that buckwheat pancakes are a thing. I know buckwheat in its whole form. Back where I'm from, it's a very common food. In fact, buckwheat is my favorite whole grain to eat. Although technically it's not actually a grain, it's a seed of a grass related to rhubarb. The main thing to know is that it's delicious, nutritious, and completely gluten-free, and it makes for perfect pancakes. These things are thick, fluffy, and super tasty, and I will show you how to make both fermented and chemically leavened ones. We'll start with the fermented version. We'll need some buckwheat flour, buttermilk, milk or yogurt, a couple of eggs, butter, yeast, salt, vanilla paste or vanilla essence, and some honey. Of course, you can make your own adjustments when it comes to flavoring. We'll also need some oil for cooking. You can use any oil that you like. I'm using extra virgin olive oil. It works well with these pancakes, at least to my taste. Buckwheat has kind of a savory flavor to it. Here's what buckwheat looks like if you've never seen it. It has kind of a triangular shape with 4 sides. When fully cooked, it puffs up and breaks open. It's a great substitute for rice. It carries a lot of flavor and is much more nutritious. Let's have a look at the equipment needed for this recipe. We'll of course need a non-stick pan for cooking our pancakes. We'll need a bowl for mixing and fermenting. We'll need scales, a whisk, a spoon for spooning on the batter, and a spatula for flipping the pancakes over. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's begin the process. In a large bowl, combine the buttermilk, vanilla, yeast, salt, honey, eggs, and melted butter, and then whisk it all until smooth. Then whisk in the flour, and that's the pancake mix done. Make sure you use a large enough bowl, because this mix will double in size as it ferments. You definitely don't want to wake up to a fridge full of pancake mix in the morning. When it comes to temperature control, I didn't pay much attention to it here. I had the buttermilk out from the fridge for a couple of hours, so it had warmed up a little bit. The final dough temperature must have been around 23 degrees Celsius, or around 74 degrees Fahrenheit. But don't worry about it too much. It will sort itself out during the long cold fermentation. As long as it's not stone cold, you're good to go. And just to get the fermentation going, we'll leave this mix out at room temperature for 30 minutes. And now we can refrigerate it for around 12 hours. So make the mix in the evening and make your pancakes the next morning. And just look at that big boy, it's puffed up beautifully. If my bowl was any smaller, it would have been a disaster. Okay, we are ready to make some pancakes. Set your pan up on medium heat, let it warm up first, add a little drop of oil and a big tablespoon of pancake mix. Don't bother using a ladle or trying to pour it from a jug. It is way too thick for that. And because it's thick, it will take some time to cook as well. It'll take about 5 minutes in total, and the way I like to do it is 2 minutes on one side, then flip it over, give it another 2 minutes, and then flip it a couple more times, then leave it for around 30 seconds each. Every cooker is different, so you may need to play around with the temperature settings. If your pancakes are getting too dark too soon, turn the heat down a bit. If they're taking too long, turn it up. And if your pan is large enough, use it. Bake several pancakes at a time. You'll get around 13 to 15 pancakes from this recipe. And there you go. That's how easy it is to make fermented buckwheat pancakes. They are thick, bouncy, and delicious. I will definitely be making these again. And I'm a little bit mad at myself for not making them sooner. And this got me thinking about other flours that could be used for making pancakes. Other gluten-free flours, that is. If you know some recipes, let us know down in the comments. But pancakes on their own are a bit boring. They need some toppings. Here's a quick one you can make using any berries. Drop a bunch of berries in a pan, add a little bit of sugar, and bring them over to the cooker. Set them up on high heat and cook for around 5 minutes. Once the berries are broken up and the juice has reduced down and thickened, it's ready. You could call this instant jam. It's quick and tasty, but honey really works well with these pancakes too. As I mentioned earlier, buckwheat has kind of a savory flavor, and fermentation enhances it even further. So you could also eat these pancakes with savory toppings. Eggs, bacon, ham, cheese, sour cream, mushrooms. A pancake is just a soft, delicious vessel that you can throw anything at. But we're not finished yet. Let me show you how to make the instant version. The ingredients are similar with a couple of changes. Instead of yeast and salt, we're using baking powder and baking soda. We don't need any additional salt because they both contain sodium. The reason for using baking soda as well as baking powder is that the soda will give us an instant reaction. It'll make the batter puff up as soon as it's mixed. The baking powder, on the other hand, will react to heat, so it will make the batter puff up as it cooks in a pan. The mixing process is exactly the same as earlier. First, mix all the wet ingredients, then add the flour. I'm only making half of the recipe this time. They are delicious, but a man can only eat so many pancakes. The cooking step is identical to the previous recipe. A little bit of oil, big tablespoon of batter, and around 5 minutes in total. And by the way, this is not the only pancake recipe on the channel. You can find a fermented wheat flour pancake recipe, which is super delicious too. And I also have a sourdough discard pancake recipe. Personally, I think that fermented pancakes are superior. They just have that depth of flavor. And the same goes when it comes to these buckwheat ones. Sure, if you wake up in the morning and you want pancakes, make the instant version. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But if you decide to make pancakes the day before, then you should definitely try out the fermented version. I'm not sure how this recipe will work for thin pancakes. It probably needs to be a bit more liquid for that. I should try and make some crepes sometime. I would need a new pan though. This one's a little bit bent. I would end up with unevenly thick crepes. Thinner on the edges and thicker in the middle. You'll find my other pancake recipe in the pastry, cakes and sweet bakes playlist on the channel, along with many other delicious sweet treats. Cookies, cakes, tarts, donuts, biscuits, pancakes, it's all there. So what do you think of this buckwheat pancake recipe? What's your favorite kind of pancake? Let me know down in the comments. You want to see more videos like this one? Click over here. Subscribe to the channel, click right here. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.